All right, let's talk about something we all know way too well, that feeling of complete and utter mental overload. But what if the answer wasn't some huge, life-altering change, but a really simple, elegant blueprint from Japan? Let's dive into this Japanese blueprint for a quick mental reset. Does this feel familiar? You know, that constant hum in the back of your mind? The to-do lists, the worries, the notifications, all running at once? It's literally like having 100 browser tabs open in your brain, and every single one is draining your energy. Well, you're definitely not alone. And we're about to look at a really powerful way to hit Control-Alt-Delete on all that mental clutter. So, what's the fix? Well, it's not about trying to close all those tabs at once. The secret actually lies in this beautifully simple Japanese philosophy. It's not focused on massive, dramatic change, but on the incredible power of just making things 1% better. And that philosophy is called Kaizen. Now, the core idea here is all about continuous incremental improvement. This isn't about a total life makeover overnight. Nope. It's the art of the small step, that one tiny little tweak that you do consistently. It's a huge shift from chasing this impossible idea of perfection to actually celebrating your progress. This right here, this is the magic number. The goal isn't to be 100% better tomorrow. That's just overwhelming. The goal is to be just 1% better. It's a target so small it feels almost effortless, right? But when you compound that over time, the impact is absolutely massive. It makes real change feel approachable instead of intimidating. And this is what happens. When you focus on that 1%, you stop trying to rely on willpower, which, let's be honest, runs out. Instead, you're building these tiny little habits. And those habits, they eventually become automatic. And that's the foundation of real discipline and mental strength. You're not just chasing a goal anymore. You're building a system. Okay, so how do we actually apply this whole Kaizen idea to our lives? Let's break it down into 3 really simple, really practical techniques you can use anytime for a quick mental reset. We're going to break down 3 simple habits. First, a decluttering concept called Danser, which is really about letting go of what's not serving you. Second, the incredibly calming practice of forest bathing. And finally, a pretty surprising rule for managing your energy that actually starts with your dinner plate. First up is the practice of Danshari. The name itself is pretty cool. It breaks down into 3 ideas: refuse, dispose, and separate. But the core idea is simple. Your physical environment is a direct mirror of your mental state. So if you want to clear your mind, you got to start with your space. Just think about it for a second. A cluttered desk, a messing room, it's not just untidy. It's a constant, low-level visual stressor that's always pulling at your focus. So when you clear your physical space, you're sending this powerful signal to your brain that it's okay to let go, to focus, and to calm all that internal chaos. Put simply, a clear space helps create a clear mind. Okay, next up is forest bathing. And don't worry, you don't need hiking boots or a literal forest for this. It's just about immersing your senses in any natural environment. It could be a park, your backyard, or even just looking at a tree outside your window for a couple of minutes. The whole goal is to disconnect from all the digital noise and just reconnect with the natural world to quiet your mind. All right, for our third and final technique, I've got a question for you. We've talked about our physical space and our connection to nature, but what if one of the biggest levers we can pull for a mental reset actually has to do with what, and maybe more importantly, how we eat? And this brings us to the 80% full rule. This whole idea is rooted in something called Interceptive Awareness. That's just a fancy way of saying the skill of noticing your body's internal signals, like when you're hungry or when you're full. The idea is to eat until you're about 80% full, leaving a little 20% reserve. This simple act stops that energy crash and brain fog you get from overeating, which helps keep your mind stable all day. It's not about restriction, it's all about optimizing your energy. So we've covered the philosophy, and we've got 3 powerful techniques. Now let's put it all together into a dead simple daily blueprint that you can use anytime you start to feel overwhelmed. Here it is, your 10-minute Kaizen mental reset. It's so easy. First, take just a few minutes for Danshari. Don't try to clean the whole house, just tidy one small area, like your desk. Next, spend a couple of minutes forest bathing. Step outside or just stare out a window. And finally, at your very next meal, just try to aim for that 80% full feeling. See, this isn't another thing for your to-do list. It's a tool for taking things off it. So, as we wrap this all up, I'm just going to leave you with this one question. Forget about the grand plans and all the radical changes for just a second. Just think about tomorrow. What's one tiny 1% improvement you can make? Because that